I never thought a single text message could make everything so clear, so fast. It came in at 7:43 p.m. Right when I was finishing up at work, coffee gone cold on my desk. Spreadsheets blurred from staring too long. My phone buzzed once. I almost ignored it. It was from Emily. I'm with Jake tonight. No explanation. No emoji. No softness. Just that, for a second, I stared at the screen, rereading it like maybe I misunderstood. Maybe she meant a group thing. Maybe a work thing. Maybe nothing. But deep down, my chest already knew the truth before my brain caught up. I'm Daniel, 38, Emily and I had been together for 5 years. Not perfect, but real. Or at least, I thought it was. We weren't newlyweds living in fantasy. But we weren't strangers either. We had routines, shared groceries, weekend plans. Inside jokes no one else understood. The kind of relationship that's supposed to mean something. I didn't reply right away. I leaned back in my chair and thought about the last 6 months. How she'd started guarding her phone like it held state secrets. How girls' nights became frequent and vague. How she stopped asking about my day, stopped touching my arm when she laughed, stopped saying we when she talked about the future. Jake wasn't new. He was her coworker. Funny. Confident, the kind of guy who always found a reason to be around. She told me not to worry about him more than once, which, looking back, should have told me everything. If you're already feeling this tension, tap the like button so this story can reach others who might recognize it too. I picked up my phone again, typed, deleted, typed again. I could have argued, could have asked questions, could have pretended this was normal. But something inside me felt tired. Not angry, just done negotiating reality. So instead of asking why, I replied, okay? I hope you enjoy yourself. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. I locked my phone and drove home. The apartment felt different that night, too quiet. Her shoes weren't by the door. Her favorite candle wasn't lit. I cooked dinner for one without really tasting it. At around 9 p.m., I checked my phone again. A message from Emily. You're being weirdly calm about this. That made me laugh. Not out loud. Just a quiet, humorless breath through my nose. We live in a world where calm scares people more than anger. I replied. What reaction were you expecting? Another pause. Then, a conversation. I looked at the message for a long time before answering. This wasn't about Jake anymore. It was about respect. About the slow erosion that happens when one person checks out and expects the other to keep pretending nothing's wrong. Conversations work when both people still care, I typed. I wasn't sure that was still true. That's when my phone started ringing. I let it ring. At this point in the story, I want to hear from you. Would you have answered that call or done the same thing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Around 10:30, she texted again. Shorter this time, sharper. You're overreacting. I told you where I was. I was honest. Honest. That word hit harder than I expected. I walked into the bedroom and opened the closet. Her side was neat, untouched. Mine looked like it always had. Simple, practical. I pulled out a small overnight bag and set it on the bed. Not because I planned to leave that night, but because for the first time, I wanted to know I could. I typed one more message. You didn't tell me because it mattered to me. You told me so you wouldn't feel guilty. The typing bubbles came back instantly this time. That's not fair. I didn't respond. If you've ever felt that quiet moment where something inside you finally clicks, comment the word clarity below. I turned my phone face down and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. I wasn't imagining things anymore. I wasn't insecure. I wasn't paranoid. I was just late to the truth. At 12:17 a.m., the front door opened. Emily walked in like nothing had happened. Same jacket, same perfume, same familiar face that suddenly felt very far away. She froze when she saw me sitting there. You're still up, she said. I nodded. She glanced at the bag on the bed. What's that supposed to mean? I finally looked at her and said, calmly, it means I'm done pretending I don't see what's right in front of me. Her mouth opened, then closed again. If this story resonates with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it tonight. Sometimes clarity spreads when stories are passed on. She took a step toward me. Daniel, you're making this into something it's not. I stood up. No, I said. I'm finally seeing it for what it is. Her phone buzzed in her hand. I didn't ask who it was. I didn't need to. She looked down at her phone, then back at me, like she was deciding which version of the night she wanted to continue living in. I didn't give her time. I'm not asking you to explain, I said. I'm telling you I'm done competing with someone who shouldn't exist in the first place. Her eyebrows pulled together, that familiar look she used whenever things stop going her way. So that's it, 5 years, and you're just, what, walking away? I nodded once. I already did. You just didn't notice. She laughed, but it sounded thin. You're being dramatic. No, I replied. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Silence stretched between us. The kind that used to feel comfortable now felt heavy. She set her phone down on the dresser like it was suddenly irrelevant. Like the damage hadn't already been done. You didn't even ask if I slept with him, she said. That surprised me. Not because I cared, but because she expected me to. I don't need to, I said. The fact that you wanted me to worry is answer enough. Her face hardened. So what? You're punishing me now. I picked up the overnight bag and zipped it slowly, deliberately. I'm respecting myself, something I should have done a long time ago. She crossed her arms. Where are you even going? To my brother's place, I said. Not because I have to, because I want space from this, from you. I didn't say. I didn't need to. As I walked toward the door, she followed me, heels clicking sharply against the floor. Daniel, don't do this. Jake doesn't mean anything. I turned back for the first time since standing up. That's the problem. If he meant nothing, he wouldn't exist in our relationship at all. Her mouth opened, then closed. No. Argument came out this time, right here. I'm curious, do you believe emotional boundaries matter as much as physical ones? Share your take in the comments, and let's talk about it. Outside, the air was cool and clean, like the world hadn't noticed my personal collapse. I loaded the bag into my car and sat there for a moment, hands on the steering wheel, breathing. Not relief, not pain, just clarity. My phone buzzed again. Emily, you're really leaving? I typed my final message before putting the phone on. Silent, yes, and I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing it so I don't keep hurting myself. I drove away before she could reply. The next morning, I woke up on my brother Mark's couch. Sunlight through unfamiliar curtains, a different ceiling. My chest felt tight, but lighter at the same time, like I dropped something heavy without realizing how long I'd been carrying it. Later that day, Emily called. I didn't answer. She texted instead. I didn't think you'd actually go through with it. That line told me everything. She didn't think I'd choose myself. She thought I'd complain, sulk, then come back, like I always had. I replied once more, not to argue, but to close the door properly. I didn't think I would either. But here we are. That was a no long speeches, no accusations, no begging. Over the next week, friends reached out. Some said I was strong. Others asked if I was sure. A few told me I should have fought harder, but none of them were the ones lying awake next to someone who made them feel invisible. Emily posted pictures a few days later. Drinks, smiles, Jake's arm just barely visible in the frame. I didn't feel jealous. I felt free. Because the truth is, the relationship ended long before that text ever came through. The text just gave me permission to stop pretending. If you've ever stayed longer than you should have, comment enough below. You're not alone in that moment. Weeks passed. The noise settled. My life got quieter, but clearer. I started sleeping better, thinking straighter, laughing again without forcing it. One night, Mark asked me if I missed her. I thought about it honestly. I miss who I thought she was, I said, not who she chose to be. And that was the moment I knew I made the right call. Not because I won, not because she lost, but because I finally stopped shrinking myself to fit into someone else's indifference. If this story helped you reflect, consider liking the video, sharing your thoughts below, and subscribing, because these stories aren't just entertainment. They're reminders that self-respect is a choice we make every day. Sometimes the most powerful reply isn't clever. It's final. And sometimes walking away isn't losing. It's how you take your life back.